will be listing this card on a platform that I co-founded called Liquid Marketplace. It allows co-ownership of top-tier assets. So instead of one person, me owning this card, we as a collective can co-own it together. I'll be retaining 49% ownership of the card, so I won't actually have access to it. It'll be in our vault. But if I want to wear it out to fights or a Pokemon box break, or maybe even put it in a museum one day, the community can decide if we want it.
So not too long ago, I broke down how Logan Paul found himself in hot water again. And this time, it was with the Pokemon and trading card community back in 2022. Logan went all in on Pokemon. He wasn't just opening packs for fun. He was dropping millions on rare cards, sealed boxes, flexing grails like it was nothing. At one point, he even got scammed, which only made the saga messier. Long story short, he linked up with investors and launched something called the Liquid Marketplace. The pitch sounded futuristic. People could buy fractional shares of physical collectibles like trading cards and sports memorabilia. You didn't have to own the whole card, just a piece of it. And supposedly, the blockchain handled everything behind the scenes to make it legit and secure. But here's where it gets wild. The real headline was that Logan planned to sell 51% fractional ownership of one of the rarest Pokemon cards in existence, a PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator. That card is basically the holy grail of Pokemon collecting. Perfect grade, ultra rare, insane value, and fans were told they could own a slice of it. Fast forward a few years, and the Liquid Marketplace has basically crumbled. Lawsuits popped up, complaints started stacking, and from the outside, it looks like Logan slowly backed away from the whole situation.
Now, you can just buy a token on Liquid Marketplace to own high-value, top-tier assets that you cannot get anywhere else, right? Like these are...
He later posted on Twitter saying that in 2024, he repurchased the fractionally owned portion of the card, claiming it was all done according to the original agreement terms. After that, he talked about the platform almost like he was just loosely connected to it, which is crazy because he promoted himself as the face of Liquid Marketplace multiple times. He was front and center. He was the hype man. The brand was tied to him heavy. And that's exactly why people got heated when he announced he was teaming up with Ken Golden from the Netflix show King of Collectibles to auction off that same Pikachu Illustrator card. Under the reported deal, Logan would receive a big advance up front plus a percentage of the final auction sale. So naturally, the internet started asking questions. People were like, what happened to the fractional owners? What about the investors who believed they co-owned part of that card? Others, like Rattle Pokemon on YouTube, argued the card shouldn't have even been graded PSA 10 in the first place. He claimed there were issues with the grading and suggested it may have been resubmitted multiple times until it finally landed that perfect score, which gave it that legendary status. As you can imagine, the community was not impressed. Before the auction wrapped up, Logan posted an update saying Liquid Marketplace had advised that unclaimed funds were now released and available for withdrawal. He even shared a link to the site, which had previously been offline.
When we have a high-profile item, an expensive item such as the PSA 10 Illustrator that was a 9 several times before it got a 10, that is not the case, even though this thing clearly is not a 10, in my opinion.
Former users could supposedly log back in and get their money back. And here's the twist. It doesn't even seem like investors truly own the physical asset the way many thought they did. Over the past month, Logan went hard promoting this auction. High-energy clips, dramatic edits, big flex vibes. And to be fair, marketing is his strong suit. He knows how to grab attention. He knows controversy equals clicks. But he also has a pattern of blocking critics. On a now-deleted post where he wrote, "Goodbye, my friends. What a privilege it's been to be the owner of the greatest collectible in the world. From Guinness World Records to WWE, debuts Netflix to national news. This card and I have been on a generational run. Tomorrow night, she finds a new home on Golden Auctions," someone commented. Liquid Fraction owners remember they once co-owned this Pikachu card LOL and got blocked almost instantly. That's been the vibe. Big celebration energy on the surface. Silence for critics underneath. Comments often turned off. Clean feed. No noise allowed. Then the auction night finally arrived. Someone dropped a $12.5 million bid. Logan's reaction? Pure shock. He kept repeating, "No way, bro," over and over like he couldn't believe the number himself. And just like that, the card officially set a new world record as the most expensive card ever sold at auction.
I spent $5.3 million on this Pikachu card.
Because Pokemon has outperformed the stock market by 3,000% in the last 20 years.
Meaning this is now worth more than all of these watches, these cars,
And probably this dinosaur.
because it is the only perfect PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator in existence.
And now, I'm letting it go.
This grail is going up for auction on Pokemon's 30th anniversary.
The crown jewel of the highest grossing franchise in the world. Someone is going to own the Guinness World Record setting card that I hunted for years.
It is the very best.
Beating the previous Kobe Bryant record. Historic moment, massive headline, crazy flex. But here's the uncomfortable part. The investors who believed they had ownership, they can now apparently withdraw their original funds years later. Cool, right? Except, what about inflation? What about the opportunity cost? That money sat locked up. It couldn't be invested elsewhere. It couldn't grow. It couldn't be used if someone had an emergency. Maybe someone needed rent money. Maybe someone had medical bills. That cash was frozen while the card's value skyrocketed. So yeah, Logan secured the bag. The auction made history. The headlines look legendary, but for a lot of people watching this unfold, it doesn't feel like a victory lap. It feels messy, it feels unfinished, and it definitely left a bad taste in the mouths of collectors who believed they were part of something bigger. Maybe someone fell on hard times. Maybe someone really needed that money back. But don't worry, Logan is still out here breaking world records, popping champagne, confetti flying everywhere like it's a movie premiere. And I gotta admit, as I get older, I'm basically UNC status now. I've had to accept something uncomfortable. Sometimes bad behavior doesn't get punished. Sometimes the loudest person in the room still walks away with the biggest check. During the auction, the bidding climbed to around $16.5 million. The tension was high. Cameras zoomed in. And then they brought the winning bidder up on stage like it was a championship ceremony. These are people with more money than they could ever realistically spend in a lifetime.
Current bid on the Illustrator, $12,400,000.
No way. No way. No way.
What? No way. No way, bro. No way.
One more bid's new record all time. 12.5 million.
No way, bro.
Ken's whole team. I think they did it. We now have the record. The most expensive trading card of all time. $13 million.
We're talking generational wealth, security forever, and still, the hunger never stops. It's always more records, more headlines, more spotlight, more dominance. I guess when you're the one cashing the check, none of the noise really matters. It honestly looked like two wealthy brothers celebrating another massive flex. One of them wearing a Pokemon onesie, casually talking about being a film director like this was just another Tuesday. Of course, Logan looked thrilled. Someone just handed him $16.5 million for a single card. Who wouldn't be smiling ear to ear? But let's be real, there's nothing revolutionary about spending inherited wealth at an auction. That's not groundbreaking. That's just luxury spending on steroids. And you can't convince me the whole thing didn't feel dramatic on purpose. The ceremonial handoff? Logan passing the card over like it was some sacred relic from a lost civilization. Woohoo! Champagne spraying, applause roaring, cameras flashing nonstop. Ken Golden in the background acting like this was the greatest moment in collectible history. And then, boom! Another Guinness World Record gets handed over like a trophy. Meanwhile, the people who once believed they fractionally owned part of that card are being told, hey, you can log in now and withdraw your original funds. Cool, years later. But the show didn't stop there. During the same live stream, Logan unveiled his newest venture. And honestly, the concept feels very familiar. It's pitched as the future of collecting. VIP access. Rip packs that represent real graded cards. Sell instantly for cash.
Logan Paul.
Logan, you get it.
Ken Golden.
Yes.
Tonight you sold the PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator card for $16,492,000. On behalf of Guinness World Records, I can now confirm you have achieved a new record title for not only for the most expensive Pokemon card ever sold at auction, but also the overall record for the most expensive trading card ever sold at auction.
Store them in vaults. Ship them home. Digital access meets physical assets. Sound familiar? It feels like fractional access to collectibles, just with a fresh coat of paint. They even added a leaderboard system. Users can compete, climb rankings, unlock bigger rewards, refer friends to move up faster. The more people you bring in, the higher you climb. First, you join the waitlist. Then you invite friends. Then you unlock bonuses. I'm not saying anything directly, I'm just saying the shape of this structure feels a little triangular. Each confirmed referral boosts your position. Collecting becomes a social competition, a public flex. Invite more friends. Move up the ranks. Show everyone how big your digital stack is. You log in, rip packs, chase cards from Logan's personal collection, which, if you remember, didn't exactly go smoothly the first time around depending on who you ask. Now, I'm not saying this new platform is identical to Liquid Marketplace, but let's be honest, the vibes feel familiar. When something looks like a sequel to a project that already collapsed under lawsuits and backlash, people are naturally going to question it.
What is up, collector? Rip It is coming soon, and you're gonna want to be first in line. So we're growing our wait list for users to get early access and to give back to the day one collectors who help us grow this thing. Top referrers will climb the leaderboard to get rewarded with things like the holographic pull from this first edition heavy pack, a $30,000 base set unlimited box, and a PSA 9 first edition Lugia valued at roughly $7 grand.
And that skepticism isn't random. It didn't just appear out of thin air. If someone chooses to jump into a system like this after everything that's already happened, I personally wouldn't be shocked if things went sideways again. The track record is public. Even someone young with access to a parent's credit card should probably pause and think twice. Logan and his team are grinding, no doubt. The marketing is polished, the rollout is loud, the energy is high. But to me, the timing feels tone deaf. It's like celebrating a championship while former teammates are still asking what happened to their share of the prize money. Then this morning, Logan tried to clear the air. He posted that the auction night was historic and thanked the Pokémon community, Ken Golden, and his team. Fair enough, it was historic. Then he clarified the ownership numbers. Originally, up to 51% of the Illustrator card was offered through Liquid Marketplace. But according to him, only 5.4% was actually sold. That totaled around $270,000 back in 2022. In May 2024, he says he bought back that 5.4% at the same price, following the platform's terms, and made the funds available for withdrawal. If that's accurate, then yeah, 5.4% sounds way less dramatic than the 51% headline that first grabbed everyone's attention. Legally, buying back shares at the agreed price may check the contract box. But here's where people still feel uneasy. The card just sold for $16.5 million. When an asset explodes in value like that, expectations shift. The optics change instantly. People see that number and think early, investors should share in the upside, not just get their original money back like nothing happened. For example, if someone put in $10,000 and the asset multiplied several times over, some argue that fairness would suggest they benefit from that growth. Legally required? Maybe not. But morally, that's where the debate heats up. Logan also said users had about a year to withdraw funds after the buyback, and many did. Then the website reportedly went offline for reasons outside his control. Once he realized withdrawals weren't accessible, he claims he personally paid to restore the site so users could access their money. According to him, emails were sent and funds are now available. So how do you see it? On one side, if only 5.4% was sold and he honored the original agreement, that's a different picture than half the card being locked up. On the other side, once a $16.5 million headline hits, emotions change. People feel like early believers helped build the hype and should share in the reward. And don't forget, the Illustrator wasn't the only asset sold through Liquid Marketplace. Thousands of collectibles reportedly moved through that system. So this isn't just about one card. It's about trust. It's about perception. It's about pattern recognition. Here's where I land. If Logan really wants to shut this chapter down for good, the cleanest move would be voluntarily giving a portion of that auction profit to the original 5.4% investors based on the card's appreciation. Would it cost him a few million? Probably. Would it completely flip the narrative? Absolutely. Not required, but powerful. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think he handled the buyback fairly under the original terms, or should early investors have shared in the upside after that historic sale? Now, drop your thoughts down below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, share this video, drop your comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one.